this is Rosa59 here to show you guys how to make this 3D silhouette picture. I'm just using a 1/4 inch maple plywood here. I probably would say it's close to 3/16 than a 1/4 inch, but usually in the store it's just referred as 1/4 inch maple. I'm using a scrap piece of pine, and I just sprayed on my piece of paper for the template. I just used 3M77. I find this stuff works really well. And now that it's sat for about 30 to 60 seconds, it's sticky on the back, and I'm just going to try to line up my corners here. I'm just adding a little bit of packing tape here on top. Just got one more piece here to finish off. I just find it's easier when you're cutting out the image that the paper doesn't come off on you while you're cutting. For the inside areas, we're going to be using a scroll saw to cut them out. In order for the blade to go through, we need to drill the holes. So I'm just drilling a 1/8 hole. And I got one more area here to do. It doesn't matter exactly where you do it. As you can see here, I started to sand with 150 grit sandpaper I used just to smooth all the edges out to give you more of that 3D dimension look. I started from this side and worked my way all the way over here. I didn't do this piece of grass here. I'm going to show you guys how I did it. Just going to flip it around here. And I used just a small piece of wood and a small clamp just to give it a little protection, just to hold it down because it is very thin pieces and I don't want those thin pieces to break on me. For the hummingbird, I'm using my Dremel tool. For sanding the hummingbird, I use the same method as I did for the grass. I used 150 grit sandpaper, and around the corners I went up and down. Also for the wings, after I was done with a Dremel tool, I took my sandpaper on a block and I went on an angle downward. For the flower, I did the same techniques as the grass and the hummingbird. I used my Dremel tool with the same bit, and I would carve down on the edges just so it would make it more 3D alike. Also, flowers, some petals are bent up and some are bent down depending on the movement. So I just figured that would just give it a really cool 3D effect. And I used 150 grit sandpaper as well. For painting the grass, the hummingbird, and the flower, I used a CIL tester and an eggshell finish, and the color is just plain black. I also applied 2 coats, and I used these 2 brushes. I found they worked the best for me. Before painting the background, I just used 150 grit sandpaper to make sure it was nice and smooth. Then I applied the pink first, then a little bit of the white or cream color, and then I applied the purple. And I just used these two types of brushes. I found this was easier to apply on the thicker areas and then blending in also, and then the small one just for tiny areas for blending. I let the paint dry overnight. The next day I applied one coat to everything. For the inside of the frame, we're going to attach the bottom brace, and I'm just using some Gorilla wood glue here. And I'm just used my 18 gauge nailer and about 3/4 inch nails. I put it into this clamp system. I find it works really great when you're doing miter joints or framework. And also I already added some glue in, and I did 2 nails on each side. And I just got one last one to do here in the corner, and I'm using the same nails as I did before, 3/4 inch long at a 18 gauge brad nailer I'm using. And I'm going to go ahead and take off the clamp and flip it around on the bottom side, and I'm going to do 2 nails on both sides as well. I use some putty to plug all the holes. Then I use my orbital sander to sand everything nice and smooth. I used 180 grit, and then by hand I used 400 grit sandpaper and sanded all the edges nice and smooth. For the clear coat, I did 3 coats of a Varathane semi-gloss finish, and I applied it on the inside, outside, and on the top as well. For applying the back panel in, I've already set some glue all the way around, and I use Well-Bond wood glue. Now to apply the grass on, I just added some Well-Bond glue along the bottom and the edges, the 2 edges here. For adding the flower in, I've already applied the glue on the back and on the bottom. I applied glue on the back of the hummingbird. And now I'm going to go ahead and let this glue all the pieces dry overnight. Thanks for checking out this video. All links are in the description below for this video. Definitely subscribe for more videos just like this. Don't forget to share this video and post your comments below. Some of the best tips and feedback come from you. Thanks for watching.